Hello viewers and welcome to InfoGist TV. Rivers Crisis Assembly to submit separate report on local government secretariat attack. The Martins Amerile-led Rivers State House of Assembly is conducting its own probe of the October 7 violent attacks and destructions of some local government area secretariats in the state. Some of the council secretariats were burnt and some persons killed in the riot that ensued when the newly inaugurated local government chairman took over their secretariats. News of the Assembly's probe of the mayhem came a few days after the 7-member Judicial Commissions of Inquiry set up by Governor Similayo Fubara to probe the destruction submitted its report to the governor. Fubara had vowed to implement the white paper expected to be issued on the Commission's recommendations. Addressing the Assembly at its sitting on Thursday, Speaker Amehule asked the House Committee on Public Complaints and Petitions to expedite actions on the various petitions referred to it. Amehule particularly asked the committee to turn in its report of the investigations of the October 7 disbursements and October 7 disturbances. The Speaker's Special Assistant on Media, Martins Mwachukwu, said Amehule reminded the committee of Section 128 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which he said empowers the House to conduct investigations. The committee chairman, Enemi George, said due diligence was being taken to ensure that everybody concerned was given a fair hearing. Everybody concerned was given a fair hearing. George pledged that reports on the various petitions and investigations will be presented to the House soon. Our enemies' days are numbered, says Fubara. However, Governor Fubara, who remained locked in a political battle with Amehule, his supporters in the House, as well as Federal Capital Territory Minister Wike'S, said that the days of his enemies were numbered. Fubara spoke while inaugurating the remodeled Government Girls Secondary School GGSS Ahoda. Enemy has a time. This thing cannot last forever, and I can assure you with boldness today that they are gradually coming to an end, he said, and recalled how the king of Epe Kingdom was arrested and kept in police custody for about 4 months, allegedly on account of traditional ruler support for his administration. He said his chief of staff, Edison Ehe, was also hunted and declared wanted by the police to reduce the influence of his camp in the ongoing political power tussle. He said what we just need is to be patient. We have promised that our approach will be following these processes with patience and the fear of God, and we will get there. The governor said for standing with his administration, his government would grant the request of the Epe Kingdom and other traditional rulers who demanded the recognitions of their stools. He said, I feel for this great kingdom. When Ezekpenye was talking, a lot of you didn't understand what happened. Because of their support for me, he was arrested, charged for false accusations, and detained in police custody for more than 4 months, himself and Cassidy. We are not even talking about my chief of staff. Because of the support that he has publicly displayed, he was even declared wanted so that maybe they can reduce our influence. But the truth is always very clear. The governor said when he inaugurated the 11.8-kilometer Okehi-Emohola Eberi Link Road, he declared that the road his administration would soon inaugurate at Omuma would be the only project in the council for 8 years of the past administration. He said, I stand here to say that even if there was a project commissioned at that time, it was a farm road that has no connection to anything. The project we are commissioning has significance, and that is what we should be talking about. It is not going to do one useless project and your core people. We are talking about projects that will add value to the lives of the people that you have decided to govern with the support of the people. So we will not celebrate things that will not make meaning. That is why we are here today, to inaugurate this special school for people that are going to be mothers to this great nation, people that will be wives to great men. And if you don't produce any quality girl child, it means the nation is gone. So you can see, and everybody can attest, that we are strategic. It is not just doing what is right. The governor said he was overwhelmed with joy to celebrate the project that was not associated with vindictiveness, adding that the school project was awarded before he assumed office, but was not funded by the last administration. Noting he did not know the contractors, the governor said his interest in educational development compelled him to invite and release money to them and complete the project instead of changing the contractors. I can say that should speak to the kind of person that is leading the state. I assure our people that we will not do anything that we cannot stand and be proud of ourselves. He said Fubara announced the termination of an internal road project awarded in the area to an alleged loyalist of Wike. His words, I feel it will be wrong for me to continue to sponsor somebody who has come openly to declare himself an enemy of the state. So that project, I believe the Ministry of Works must have written to them. I'm going to cancel it officially and award it for its completion. The governor asked the people to pray for his administration and his government to get more money to enable him complete part of the road and bridge leading to the community. He commended the people of Ekpenye and the Ahoda East for supporting his administration and publicly identifying with his government. The governor was also decorated with a chieftaincy title of Eze Anyewe Ugo of Ekpenye Land, King of Peace and Igbo of Ekpenye Land, by the Eze Ekpenye logo on behalf of the Ekpenye ethnic nationality. Also, on the other hand, the Rivers State government has issued a 7-day ultimatum as it sets to begin demolition. The Rivers State government has issued a 7-day ultimatum to residents of Port Harcourt to evacuate as it is set to begin demolition of shanties. Mr. Evans, BP, Rivers Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, issued the notice on Saturday in Port Harcourt. BP expressed concern about the activities of scavengers at the Transamadi industrial area who currently occupy large hectares of private land, using them for sorting and assemblage of solid waste. He condemned the act of proliferation of illegal dump sites as well as shanties in business areas and advised occupants to vacate affected properties which had already been marked for demolition. Scavengers here are contributing to environmental hazards. Their operations is highly unacceptable. This administration will no longer continue to allow them to deface our residential and industrial areas. We have given occupants 7 days to vacate affected properties, as we shall commence waste clearing and demolitions of shanties in the area. Property owners should refrain from leasing their properties to operators of unapproved and hazardous businesses or face the full weight of the law, the commissioner warned. Mr. David Ogbanka, chairman Special Committee on the Development Control of the Ministry, also assured of efforts towards sustainable urban development in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. According to Ogbanka, apart from defacing the city outlook, slums impede urbanizations and they constitute a breeding ground for miscreants as well as hideous hideouts for criminal and perpetrators of all forms of social vices. We will put an end to this in the coming days. Our enforcement team will begin demolition to restore serenity to our city as well as protect residents, he said. Also, the Rivers State Ministry of Fiscal Planning and Urban Development has sealed some oil and gas service companies and training firms at Transamadi Industrial Layout of Port Harcourt over non-compliance with the fiscal planning law and regulations of the state. The Commissioner, Right Honorable Evans, BP, who led the enforcement team on the action, accused the companies of flagrant violations of standards and procedures of the Nigerian building codes and regulations of the ministry while carrying out development projects in their premises. He said the companies failed to comply with requirements of the monitoring, verification and compliance exercise carried out by officials of the ministry. The commissioner also frowned at the companies for also failing to honor invitations extended to them by the ministry over the issues. Honorable BP said the sealing of the premises of the defaulting companies was done with human face and within the ambit of the law. He clarified that it was not meant to disrupt the operations of the company, but a necessary actions to compel them to comply with safety, quality, and other regulatory standards of the building industry. The commissioner assured that the affected companies will be unsealed as soon as they send their representatives to the ministry to resolve the outstanding issues. In his part, the chairman of the Special Committee on Development Control of the ministry, David Obanga, explained that the companies failed to provide relevant documents required of them, which include previous and current plans with elevations and setbacks, previous and current development permits, and approval on fencing and renovations, as well as urban infrastructure support plans. He said others include demand notices and evidence of original receipts of payments, reports of relevant professionals on subject plan, as well as location map and survey plan. Obanga said the companies were duly served with notices of enforcement, which include that of contravention, stop work and seal up in accordance with relevant sections of the Fiscal Planning and Development Law of the state before the execution of the action. He said the affected companies will remain sealed until the management demonstrates seriousness and willingness to resolve the outstanding issues. The chairman of the Special Committee on Development Control further stated that this will serve as deterrent to non-compliant companies and corporate organizations in the states.